What's poppin', everybody? This is Saber94 on the Whimsy Players channel. We have a set review today for the One Piece TCG. I didn't realize that this set is dropping tomorrow. I was just so late in making this review. I thought this was dropping late December, maybe even January, but no. Awakening of the New Era, OP5, is coming tomorrow, and we're going to be looking at all of the cards. I'll do my best to have this be a thorough review. This is going to be a long video probably. We got the reprints first and foremost. You got this Nami here that she's coming back now. This is so, I mean, they banned the cards, then I don't want to go into a different topic, but I'm really passionate about this. They banned the cards, now they're coming back. They just make themselves look like they don't know what they're doing. But anyway, it's good that they're coming back. They made changes to the ban list. So you can get this nice little alternate art Nami. You got Yamato, you got Uta. Some of the cards, I don't even know what they do. This guy, I know what he does. Rob Lucci with Rush. And the big guy, Kaido, reprint as well. So alternate art cards are going to be hot. Now for the new cards, we have a leader first, Sabo. So the typical dual color, only 4 life. And this guy, Dawn, opponent's turn. If your character with 5,000 power or more would be KO'd, you may give that character minus 1,000 during this turn instead of that character being KO'd. Goddamn. This is pretty broken. I mean, it's clear that the game is getting more and more broken. And I don't like this. It's eventually probably going to be like Digimon in the end. And I'm going to hate it. But you compare this with some of the other leaders, what they can do. This is some busted stuff. This is almost like he gives all of your cards being a floater sort of effect. It's like they not being destroyed by battle effect, if you want to think of Yu-Gi-Oh terms. Just decreasing their attack power and they survive. God, I mean, at least it's only once per turn. You got to put a Dawn on him. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a pretty strong effect, I want to say. Yeah, they lose 1,000, so I guess if they want to attack him again, it's going to be even easier. So it's a somewhat of a fair trade-off, but it's still really strong. I mean, red, they have a lot of good cards, of course, and black, in my opinion, they also have a lot of busted stuff. So, you know, dual color with these colors, you're going to be able to do a lot of things. Plus, we get a lot of support in here. Revolutionary Army, I think this is going to be a theme for this set. Alright, so the alternate art, it's going to be hot. And then we got Bello Betty as well. So this is also a leader. Yellow and red, I think this might be a first. I don't think we've ever had dual color with these colors. So combining the most broken stuff for sure. So 5,000 for life. Once again, you may trash 1 Revolutionary Army card from your hand. Up to 3 of your Revolutionary Army type characters with trigger gain 3,000 during this turn. So see, once again, I don't think this is good. And the effect is broken. That's not what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's good for the sake of the balance. I mean, you got Uta, you've got other leaders that, like the Shanks, the purple Shanks from the film starter deck. It's just more of a pain in the ass to gain this effect. And this bitch is just gonna give him, you just trash 1 card. All of those dudes gain 3,000? Dude, up to 3? Are you serious right now? This is kind of busted, man. I mean, it's a big boost. It's bigger than Shanks and Uta. And it's up to 3 cards as well. Even if you get this on 3 or 2 or even 1, it's a big boost. They got half trigger, but of course, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of trigger cards for this. Another broken leader. I hate that they have the sample blocking all the shit. And you also can't copy the scans if you want to. Damn Bandai. Okay, we got Inazuma. A 3 and 4 counter. If you have a character with 7,000 power or more, other than this character gains Rush. It's kind of situational. if you think about it, I mean, you got things like Zoro 3/5 gains rush automatically. It's just these cards are better. So this is just to put something in the set. Obviously, it's inferior. It has the counter, but it's weaker too. I suppose it's Revolutionary Army, but yeah, this isn't that great of a card. Got Emporio Ivankov. So 4/5 counter. If this character has 7,000 power or more, play up to one Revolutionary Army type with 5,000 or less, then Emporio Ivankov from your hand. Okay, so this is a summoning dude. If you boost his attack, obviously it's the thing with this bitch, comboing with this bitch. So you power this dude up. You get to play one Revolutionary Army with 5,000 free summon, basically. That's not going to be an Ivankov, so you can't loop this card. Goddamn plane outside. Crap. So this is a good card. It's obviously going to be, I think, a standard card if you're going to use them. You're going to use it with this bitch. The stats are standard, you know, that 4,000 or 5,000 with an effect is good. When vanillas are 6 and 4, so your typical card in the deck. Then we got Karasu. I'm guessing it's gonna do a similar thing too. So 4/5. Yeah, so these cards are strong. I mean, this deck is coming out the gate to be good. If your leader has Revolutionary Army type, up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters gets minus 1,000 during this turn. Give up to... Yeah, they got the wording a little bit strange. I thought there was like a grammar error. But it's an on-play effect. You give them that minus, and then when attacking, if you have 7,000 or more, give up to one of your opponent's cards, once again, minus 1,000. So, pretty good card. It's something that you can gain multiple times if this guy doesn't die when he attacks. You gotta boost him. But if you think about you're boosting these cards and they're becoming big, this guy's gonna be 8k, I mean, and then he's decreasing attack too. They basically are easy ways to just beat over other characters that would normally be stronger. So it's like the Gladiator Beast, well, not Gladiator Beast, but a sort of beat down deck Revolutionary Army. Another good card. Then we got Koala, the cute bitch. So 2/3, yeah, she's a counter 2,000 though, which is good stuff for sure. On play, if your leader, Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000. So, good little plus. I mean, it's that other red cards sort of do this. You've got, what was the little girl's name? I can't believe I forgot. Anyway, but Tama, yeah, Tama. You got Tama that has this sort of thing. I'm pretty sure she decreases by 3,000, if I'm not forgetting anything. And there's other cards that do this sort of thing. So this is going to be for the Revolutionary Army. And she is kind of usable too, you know, strong counter in hand. And then when you get her down, 3k, if you put 2 down, she can attack. Plus, I mean, this bitch, they increase attack, so, you know, being 3k isn't that bad in her case. And she gets an alternate art card too. Good shit. Then we got Sabo. Again, so on play, KO up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a total power of 4,000 or less. God damn. So let me get this straight. They do what they do to Marco, and they print this card that's gonna kill 2 things. God. Now at least he doesn't have a counter effect. So maybe that balances him a little bit. But the stats are solid for the cost. You get this powerful effect. I mean, KO up to 2. God damn. Yeah, the game is just getting stronger and stronger. Power creep is coming already. Yeah, I mean, one of your bigger dudes. He's 7 already, so... Okay. You got Chaka, I guess to give a little bit of support to the previous set. This is Alabasta. Give up to 2 Rest at Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. Okay, I forgot a lot of what the Alabasta cards did, to be honest, so I can't really think of the combos you can do with this guy. But, I mean, he has a counter. He's got that 5-6k stat, so kind of standard. He's not bad stat-wise, at least. Then we got Toto. So, on play, draw a card, and if your leader has 0 power... If your leader has 0 power or less. So, this is to be used with VV, basically. I'm not a fan of cards like these a lot. They're just going to give you a plus, but they've got no attack to work with. He's a 1 cost, 0 attack. He's kind of dead weight when you play him down. You're just going to get rid of him for your own card later. I mean, just think about this. If you play a searcher, like a 1-card searcher, you get your plus, you get a search, and then you have a decent body down. He is a counter 2000 though, so that's good, at the very least, if you want to have him as an in-hand card. Whatever. And then we got Nico Robin. This is from where she got banished by Kuma, spoiler alert, with those blue jail clothes or whatever they were. So you got, oh damn, she's so weak. 1 cost 2000. Counter. On play, kill up to one of your opponent's characters with 1000 power or less. It's too situational. I mean, she's a small cost. So I guess she can kill like the very small searchers. They come down, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like too much of a situational card to use when there are other better 1-drops. Maybe it can be a tech. I mean, these things sort of come and go depending on what's popular in the meta. When you know a card like this exists, you might tech it in. No, it depends. Then we have Bartholomew Kuma. So, is 7 Warlords of the Sea red, but it's also Revolutionary Army, of course, to go with the archetype in the set. So he's a 2-2 and a counter, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 2000 or less. So pretty similar. And actually, let me just... Okay, so they didn't do Robin being Revolutionary Army. Alright. So once again, similar effect. You get that sort of small KO. Alright. Let's go into the next list. You got Hack, the typical 3-5. At least they haven't made the power creep obvious with, you know, making this guy like a 3-6, for example. He's still that 3-5 standard counter. But we are getting a lot of broken cards either way. Okay, your vanilla. And then we got Bunny Joe. That's what this guy's called. You know, it's kind of funny. We learned some of these things. Like, I don't know if in the manga maybe they mention it beforehand. But like for me watching the anime, I just found out this guy's name now. Like, you never knew his name if you watch the anime. So this guy is your blocker, dude. 2-2, 1000 hand blocker. Just like Wosi, if that's his name, from the Whitebeard Pirates, and Galette in yellow. So pretty nice card. Once again, if you want to have that option for a cheap blocker, that's pretty good. Good card. Yeah, these guys have a lot of good cards right now, but I mean, obviously, they want you to buy this in and make the deck. Then we got another Pell card, 3-4. When this card is attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 if you put a Don on him. Now, I guess if you put a Don, he's 5, so he's usable to attack leaders and shit. And then you can decrease something, so he's gonna be like 6. So he's sort of in a way to kill something. Well, let's see, a 4-5. See, he's all right. I mean, I think I'd rather just have a straight, you know, 3-5 vanilla, but he is Alabasta. Then we got Bello Betty as a actual character card. So she's weak. One cost 2,000. On play, I mean, she's gonna be the searcher, isn't she? So look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Yeah, get Revolutionary Army, other than Betty, and put it into your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So yeah, it's insane to me how, can you imagine this coming out and then Nami still being banned? It's just ridiculous stuff. Even though it made them look like fools, I'm glad that they revoked the ban list. But yeah, you can't just ban a searcher when there's a million other searchers that do the same thing, and then you're going to print more cards and you know it. So this is the searcher for the Revolutionary Army deck. She gets a nice full art too. Bitch. And then we got this sort of a gay guy. 3/5, no counter effect. So when attacking, if this character has 7,000, your opponent cannot activate blocker. Damn. So that's pretty tough. He's gonna be, I mean, if you boost him with the leader's effect, he's gonna be 8. So that's pretty tough. And then you may trash 1 card in your hand. If your leader is multicolored, play this card. So one of those trigger things that's just too free. Busted. But at least they made sure it gotta be multicolored. Now in the future, it's still gonna be broken. But by then the game is gonna be even more broken. But obviously they made him so that you can't use him with, you know, a red Zoro, let's just say that, or a different red leader. You gotta use him with the new bitch from here. That's fine for now, but once again, in the future, I mean, I don't like where this is going. There's gonna be more multicolor leaders that aren't gonna be the Revolutionary Army dudes with red. So you're gonna be able to gain these cards in those decks too. Get these trigger cards with high stats. Anyway, obviously this guy's really strong. You're gonna run him in the deck if you use Revolutionary Army. Then we got the scientist dude, Mink. So Lindbergh, 4/5, 1,000, and if this character has 7, once again, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 or less. So this guy is just like Marco every time you attack, and has this powerful trigger too. So this Revolutionary Army, they just have everything out of the gate to be a broken deck. So yeah. Once again, I mean, I think this guy, you run him in a lot of copies. Alright, then we got Emporio Energy Hormone. So, counter, up to one of your leader or character gains 3,000 during this battle, then play up to 1 Revolutionary Army with 5. Come on, man, come on. That's busted. So you get that boost that you're gonna give, you know, the typical counter 3. You give him like a 3 boost, like maybe other cards would give more for the cost for the counter, like 4,000 or whatever. But then you gain a free summon 5,000 or less from your hand. That's just too good. So it's like you pay a 3 cost to get a 5k, like you get one of these dudes down. Jesus Christ. Or one of the other 5k dudes, and then you gain the defense during your opponent's turn. And it also has a trigger, so play up to 1 Revolutionary character with 5,000 from your hand. At least it's from your hand. So the trigger effect, I mean, I guess it's okay. It's still kind of good, honestly. But the main effect is just too good. So you know that if you got this, you know, it works. It basically is going to act like, okay, I'm still going to get my summon on my opponent's turn. I'm going to have defense on his turn too. Busted card. Okay, we got Fire Fist too. Wait, didn't this get released already? But I mean, I guess this is a different card. This is Revolutionary Army. So this is Fire Fist with Sabo, not Ace. So give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 4,000 this turn. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 0 power or less. It's okay, I suppose. And the trigger is activate this card's main effect. So that's okay, not bad. Then we got, well, that's okay, the final red card. 4,000 Brick Fist. Up to one of your leader character cards gains plus 2,000, then KO a 2,000 card or less. And then the trigger up to one of your leader characters gains 1,000 power this turn. So this is kind of like the Chopper Furball card. Yeah, I believe that's how the trigger effect works on that too. Okay. Defensive card. So that's all the red cards. Almost everything was Revolutionary Army stuff. A few Alabaster cards that... whatever. And then this random Robin card that... I mean, it almost seems like they should have made it a Revolutionary Army card, but maybe I'm wrong. This archetype is gonna be broken. I'm gonna tell you this right now, but I think it's obvious. Oh, we got one more actually. Revolutionary Army HQ. So this is a stage. Only 1 cost. That's not a good sign. Activate main. You may trash 1 card in your hand and rest the stage. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and search it. Then place the rest at the bottom. You've got to be kidding me, man. Making these broken ass cards. They can't be serious. I mean, at least you always discard every time you search. But it's a massive deck thinner card, once again. It's gonna fill out your discard pile too, your trash. Oh well, I guess they got a stadium for consistency as well. Okay, then we'll go to the green shit. We got Rosinante. Shout out to Rosinante, too cool. And I read this guy before actually. So this guy is a leader and he's a blocker, and I'm pretty sure it's the first we've seen it. But I think it's kind of cool. He is sort of broken as well, a little bit. During the end of your turn, if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, set this leader as active. So basically what it means is that you can attack with him on your turn, and then he's going to be ready to block in your opponent's turn. But I kind of find it strange because with the rulings, they're going to need to explain some stuff. So does that mean that if let's say somebody attacks this leader, if I block, I don't lose life? If I just discard a card from the hand, or if it's like it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe that's how it is gonna work. If they attack with a 5k, you block with this guy, and then you discard a card. Well, you discard a counter to make him 6, then you don't lose life. But to be honest, it kind of makes it a useless effect. Now that I think about it, I say it's broken, but maybe it's a useless effect, because if you're gonna do that, then you might as well, if you discard a counter, you block the life anyway, your opponent hitting you for life. So what's the point being a blocker? Only, I guess, if you want to save one of your stronger characters. If they want to attack and kill your big dude, and you'd rather lose life, then I guess that will work that way. But I don't know, man. I think it's a bit weird. Obviously, they gotta print some different cards. They're already running out of ideas, so they gotta do this shit. But a leader being a blocker, I guess we'll see how the rulings work out. I'm not too sure myself. He gets a nice alternate art as well. Pretty sure this is from the manga. And then we got Virgo. Navy, don't kill the pirates. As for you, you are also Navy, don't kill the pirates. Both of these guys were traitors, actually, if you think about it. Okay, so this dude, 3/4, Done 1 when attacking, queue up to one of your opponent's characters that is rested with a cost of 3 or less. Could be a bit broken. At least they gotta be rested. But I think it is kind of broken. Oh well. Then we got this fat bitch, Kuin Don Quixote Pirates. A 2/2 blocker, typical, okay. And then we got Gladius, 5/6 and a counter, activate main. You may rest this character, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. That's pretty strong as well. I mean, he won't be able to attack though. So I guess that balances out a little bit. Green, obviously, they do a lot of stuff where you sort of tap or rest your opponent's characters. There's another card into the mix. It's got pretty strong stats. It's kind of crazy that this guy is stronger than Virgo, but they do this in One Piece TCG. Okay, then we got this dude. Remember this dude? Sarkis. Smart-ass dude. Kind of weak. The effect is when attacking, you may rest one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more. Set this character as active. So I guess he's the type of dude that's going to be able to attack twice. That's some broken shit. So you rest a different character that maybe it doesn't do much, like it's one of those searcher dudes for green, and you gain a second attack with this guy, so he is going to have uses. Aggressive stuff. Then we got Trafalgar Law as a kid when he was in the crew. Well, he was trying to get into Don Quixote families with all the bombs on him. How did he even get this shit? Anyway, you may trash this character. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So essentially this is almost like a spell card, you know, Solar Ray or Needle Spray. You know, the Digimon tap one of your opponent's characters. You trash him, so when you summon and you trash him, it's almost like he's an event card, but I guess he can work as a counter too, so he has multi-use with a cost of 3 or less. Now, I do think this is going to be a pretty strong card as well, because it's a cheap cost way to tap your opponent's cards, and you sort of control the game that way. You tap their shit, and then you can attack their shit. Could be some busted stuff for sure. It's just an easy to use card, and then when you don't want to gain the effect, he's a counter in hand too, so you know, when they want to make a good card, they know how to make a good card. One Piece, where you see you got other cards like the blockers with 1 in 1,000 and not even a counter, like the grown-up law in the crocodile deck. I hate that shit. So this is a good card. Then we got Doflamingo as a psycho kid. So you may trash this character. It's this theme with these kids being trashed. So KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 2 or less. So this is, once again, it's almost like a 1 card cost spell to destroy something, and this guy can be a counter too. Yeah, these cards are good because they give you that utility being counters, and then they're searchable as well because they're characters, as opposed to them printing an event card that would do these things. So I think they're busted. And then you got Doflamingo in his 20s, 7 and 8,000. So on your opponent's attack, you may rest a specified number of done cards. So in this case, it's 1. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. Dude. It's kind of busted. It's a pretty small cost, and then you get to stop something big. I mean, it's basically a negate attack for just 1 cost. Man, I think that's a bit much. And you're gonna do this every turn too. God damn. Yeah, that is some busted stuff for sure. But I guess with cards like these, I think they're gonna encourage less aggressive shit, like trying to kill your opponent quickly. Maybe It's going to be more of people grinding out, getting their perfect setup, searching cards, that sort of thing. So who knows how the game is going to go. This guy's broken though, I want to say. Now he's pretty big. By the time you get him out, I mean, maybe your opponent has made enough progress to win. They got a bunch of characters down. But, I mean, if you can control the game and then you get this guy out too, it's going to be a great defense turn after turn. You can basically just 8k, I guess there's some cards that could crash into him, like the 6 vanillas with 8k. You can basically, he can protect himself. When they attack to kill him, you can just protect him basically. So that's pretty good. Alright. Let's keep going. We got Rosinante. So this is a regular card. He's also a blocker once again. He's all about blocking, this dude. So opponent's turn, if your rested character would be KO'd, you may trash this character instead. I mean, he's a blocker though, so you would do this anyway. I think the cool thing about this is that even if he's rested, so let's say you have this blocker down, you try and block, protect one of your better characters, and then they tap this dude so you normally can't block if he's rested. Now you can use his effect. So they still attack the dude, you can just trash this dude and then your dude doesn't die. And it's also an effect that's not blocking. So the cards that would ignore blockers, this guy doesn't care. So he's pretty good. I mean, for just 1,000 less, which really doesn't matter too much. There's certain cards that would be able to kill this that if he was 2,000 wouldn't. But for this good of an effect, I think he's really nice. He gives some good utility. I mean, it's the same as other 2002 counter 1,000, blockers, but you gain this utility effect. I think it's really valuable. That's pretty cool, Rosinante. Then we got Buffalo Dacian. So 3/4. Once per turn, if you have 2 or more rested characters, set up to one of your rested characters with a cost of 1 as active. So it's one of those reset effects. It's got to be a weak character, cost of 1. But then there's those dudes that you can just search and then they get rested, that sort of shit. He could be something, but his stats are weak, so I don't know. You basically lose that 1,000. From 5 you go to 4 because you have this effect, and it's when attacking too. So you're usually gonna have to put a down on him. I don't know. I think depending on how many of those weak characters you have that do shit, then he's gonna get in decks. Then he becomes strong. But there's a lot of competition with green now. I want to say there's just a lot of busted stuff. Okay. We got Pika. 6k 4. No counter. So at the end of your turn, set this character as active. Wait a minute. It says 1. Does this mean you put it on? Back in... What? Okay, that's a bit weird. They don't say... It's not you put it on. So is it like you put... I think you put the dawn back anyway. And it becomes active. I mean, they gotta, if this is a busted effect. Okay, now once per turn, if this character will be KO'd, you may rest up to one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more, other than Pika instead. Looks like some busted stuff. Again, it has to be a cost of 3 or more, at least. Thank God they didn't do like you can just sacrifice weak cards. And this guy won't die, and then the other dude gets rested. But it's almost like a negate attack once again, because they're going to get rested. they're not going to be killed in place of him. Oh, man, Doflamingo has so much broken stuff. It's crazy. I think this card is really strong once again. Let's keep going. This is the same thing, alternate artwork. And then Baby 5. She was pretty funny too when she was a kid. So you may rest a specified number of dawn. So yeah, they put that shit in. This, they don't even say shit. So how the fuck am I supposed to know? Anyway, you rest this character, play up to 1 Doflamingo pirate with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. It's a way to get more field presence, but this isn't that good, because if it's gonna be a cost of 2 or less, it doesn't cost that much. So why would I play 1 cost to get this down, to rest it, and then get another small dude? I guess the idea is if she stays on the field, then you can reuse the effect turn after turn. But are you gonna have that many small dudes in your hand? Maybe. So this is more of a situational card. Alright. We got Baby 5 as a grown hoe now. Same weak stats. Small cost. So you may rest the specified number of dons. You may rest this character with the top 5 cards of your deck. Get a Flamingo Pirate and then search it, basically. Add it to your hand. Place the rest of the shit at the bottom card. Now you gain this every turn. It's not an on-play effect. This is the busted stuff green do. They've got all of these searchers that you can just keep using their effect. All you gotta do is rest them. And the crazy thing is that it forces your opponent to attack these weak characters. Otherwise, they're just gonna keep searching turn after turn. So you gotta kill them quick. And damn, man, I mean, at least she's only 1,000. But yeah, busted stuff, the greens, as always. Doflamingo gets this broken searcher now too. Great. Pretty nice full art as well. Nice looking bitch. Yeah, I think that's like a Gatling gun or some shit. All of the crazy weapons. And you got Bellamy. Okay, 3/5. Green, you know, standard. If you want a vanilla. You know, these cards, I like these sort of vanillas, cool cards, and this Bellamy, which I also kind of like. But when green has all of this broken stuff, are you even going to run a dude like this in your deck anymore? Yeah. Monet, blocker, 3/1,000, but she's not a trigger. And then unblock, rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So I guess she's going to get sacrificed. And then she's going to tap 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less too. So that's a pretty flexible effect. It covers a lot of ground. The typical characters are going to get rested. Now your opponent is going to need to have a few dudes down to really make use of this. If it's just 1 dude and then you block and she dies, she can't do anything then. So I guess instead of the trigger, you gain this effect. I mean, there's just a lot of resting green does. It's some busted shit, if you ask me. They do this shit too easy, I want to say. I mean, in Duel Masters, you didn't get these sort of effects that easily. You know, tapping the opponent's characters. I don't know, man. I do not know. Man, nearly every green Doflamingo card I looked at was amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna take a short little break, take a sip of water. You guys give me a minute, please. You guys, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Making this sort of set reviews is very difficult. I gotta talk for a long amount of hours. It does take a strain on me. So give me some love at least on the video. Now moving on to the stadium here. Because the side of justice will be whichever side wins. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was actually a really iconic thing the guy said. Just Chiro Oda, man, such a great writer. His depth of thinking, which is perfectly true. I mean, this is life actually, but let's not get into life now. But it's a zero cost event. You may trash one card in your hand up to one of your leaders or characters gains 3,000. Okay, so we've seen this before. There's other cards that sort of act like this. Zero cost, but you trash a card in your hand instead to gain the plus. And then the trigger, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. That's pretty broken of a trigger effect too. Man. Doflamingo, man, they got so much good shit. Okay, then we got Charleston, counter to one of your character leaders, gains 4,000. Then you may trash one card from your hand, and if you do, set up to 3 of your done cards as active. Come on, man. It's kind of busted once again. And then the trigger, rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or character cards with a cost of 3 or less. God damn. So this is even gonna stop fucking leaders too. Anyway, we got the Sticka Meteora. Oh, these are names that I didn't really hear in the anime. Okay, so give up to one of your leader characters 4,000 and KO rest the character cost 3 or less. And then trigger KO rest the character with a cost of 5 or less. At least arrested, but I mean still. Broken stuff. So many options that are good for green. Okay, and then the last card, the Bird Cage. This is one of the coolest attacks Doflamingo does. The reason why this attack is so cool, the Bird Cage, is because it's just such a move of like nothing screams more confidence that I'm gonna make this move that's gonna trap everybody. That's how confident I am. I can just kill everybody. I just don't want anybody to escape. It's just cool shit like that Doflamingo does, even though he's so evil. But definitely one of the best villains. I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now. Him and Crocodile, I think, are the best villains of One Piece. And I tie them for several reasons. But once again, let's not get into different topics. So, if your leader is Flamingo, of course, all characters with a cost of 5 or less do not become active in your and your opponent's refresh phases. What? Wait a minute, isn't this bad? Oh wait, it's everybody. All characters with a cost of 5 or less do not become active. Damn, this can be a double-edged sword, but it's also incredibly strong. So basically what this means is that all of your weak dudes are going to be stuck. They won't be able to attack or do shit. Now, your cards are going to be... They're going to get the same treatment, sort of. But the thing is that if every card is tapped, then all of a sudden, all of the, you know, options and shit, all of these cards like this and the other shit that just kills, okay, this can rest stuff, but the other stuff that just kills cards as long as they're rested or tapped, then this almost makes those cards like an auto destroy card. And then at the end of your turn, if you have 10 done cards in your field, KO all rested characters with a cost of 5 or less, then trash the stage. So this is a ridiculously busted card. This is like a dark hole basically, with specific conditions to meet. But then when you get it off, it's too broken. It costs 5 as a stage, but let's be honest, if you're gonna get this down, you pay 5 and then you get this down, you're gonna do this and try and make as much use of it as possible. Like rest, keep a bunch of your opponent's characters rested that are weak, and then just kill them all off. So the existence of this card, I think, is gonna make everyone think, okay, I gotta play around this shit. I gotta have the small guys be disposable enough. Because if you just have a bunch of small dudes, then this kills everybody. It's not good. So there's a good counter to red, I want to say too. With just any deck that gets a bunch of small dudes down. Too busted, man. Alright. We got... Okay, we read this card. Okay, I'm done with the green, thank God. Then we got Sakazuki as a leader. Burning like a motherfucker. So we may trash 1 card in your hand and draw 1 card. What the fuck? And then give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. His blue and black, that's pretty interesting. But I don't want to be using navy. Like if I'm using a crocodile and my blue shit, I don't want these cards. I want 7 Warlords of the Sea shit. Come on. Give me something good. But that's him. He is get this pissed off serious manga artwork too. This guy doesn't fuck around. And then we got Isho Fujitora. So 6 and 6. He's a counter 2, and then on play, up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less cannot attack until the start of your next turn. Yeah, I don't really like this sort of effects. I mean, it'd be even better if you bounced the card. I don't like even that sort of effect, like the starter deck Doflamingo does. But even that is probably better. You put the card in hand. This just not being able to attack. You're not getting rid of field presence. You're not doing anything. So yeah, I'm not that fond of this dude, but at least he's a navy, so I don't care. Then we got Ulti. Good looking bitch. Flaunt those legs. So I think it started raining. Okay. 4 or 5 counter on play. If your leader is multicolored, look at the 3 cards from the top of your deck and add 1 card to your hand. What? Damn. So this bitch is basically a searcher for anything. 3 cards from the top of your deck and then add 1 card to your hand. So here's my prediction right now. Eventually this is one of those cards that is going to get limited, and it might be rightfully so, because you can't have a searcher like this. I don't know, maybe the game is going to be broken enough that it's not going to matter with all the multicolored leaders around. But I could basically use this, like you can use this in any deck that's multicolored with blue, and she's going to be a searcher for you. Plus she has good stats and a counter. I mean, I'm not reading it wrong, it's just grab any card. It doesn't even have to be a character. God damn, man, it just makes me so sad when I see this shit, because I'm still thinking of the Bartholomew Kuma from set like 1, that you just reveal 2 cards and then we can get a 7 Warlords of the Sea. What the fuck? And then you got this bitch that's so broken. I like Ulti a lot. She's one of the only, Kaido only has like a couple of cool characters in his crew. Is page 1 Ulti, and that just might be pretty much it. And maybe Black Maria. Like, who's who? Maybe, not really. The other dudes, I don't think they're cool. I don't like his big commanders. like his main dudes. Yeah, compared to Big Mom, where nearly all of her crew is cool dudes everywhere. Anyway, so strong ass bitch searcher. And she gets this full art as well, where she's rushing, I think. Then you got John Giant. Wow, they made this sort of weird ass artwork. But he's an 8 dude, 10,000. Goddamn, yeah, I think this is like supposed to be like the strongest giant in the Navy and shit. You actually see this dude super early in the anime, like long before you see him in the Whitebeard arc, if you guys really pay attention. And, you know, he's gonna be your vanilla blue, I guess. I don't think anybody's really gonna run this dude. I mean, if you're 6, 8, 7, 9, 8, 10, so okay, I guess the math adds up. And then you got Stainless. This guy wasn't that impressive, but I guess he's supposed to be a Vice Admiral still. Trash one card in your hand and rest this character. Place up to one character with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. So at least this dude spins a card. It doesn't go in hand. And all you gotta do is trash something. I think that's fair enough. Maybe. Everything else about him is okay. The stats counter. So we got the Blue Police Marines. I guess they have blue now too. So Dalmatian on KO, draw one card and then place one card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. You don't really gain any plus though with this. There's the other characters that when they die they just draw a card. No side effect. Basil Hawkins. This guy really sucks. I really just hate how damage works in One Piece Man though. They made this dude die. Okay, fair enough. And then a bunch of other dudes that got worse shit didn't die. Anyway. So this lame dude is a 4/5 counter blocker. And unblock, draw one card. If you have 3 or less cards in your hand, then this card gains 1,000 power. Then it's on block though. Okay, so I guess if you have a low hand size, it's gonna become a 6k and you get that plus. He's kind of similar to Boa Hancock, but I want to say he's better because you don't have to put it on. And you know, Boa has she has more range for you to draw a card, and you can draw a card when you attack with her too. So I guess they're even a little bit. Stats are the same, but I think that when it comes to blocking, this guy's gonna be better. Anyway, he has a good effect. I'll give him that. Bastille. This guy thought he was a smartass. Place up to one character with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. Once again, spinning a card. Hacha. Return to the hand this time, a weak character. Hina. Draw a card if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. So she's a +1. That's pretty strong. Damn. She's 4, but you put it down, she can still work. She gives you that +1. Yeah. And then Borsalino. On play, place up to one character with a cost of 4 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So, look at this shit. I mean, this is more attack than Doflamingo from the starter deck. And you put something at the bottom of its owner's deck. Yeah, it's not going to be as big of a character, but he has more attack, and the card goes at the bottom of the deck. You actually get rid of field presence. That's why these new cards are better. It just pisses me off. Get this alternate art. this dude, the 2/2 blocker. Okay, let's not waste time because I'm dying here, and we got a lot of cards still. You got Mozambia. Didn't even know this dude's name either. When you draw a card outside of your draw phase, it gains 2,000. Yeah, a bit too situational. I'm not gonna risk running this dude. Garp. On play, draw 2 cards and then place 2 cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order. He's a 2,000 counter too, though. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, this guy's 2,000. So I don't really like this sort of lame-ass artworks. I think it's similar to the John Giant style. But the effect is good because it's that, you know, deck drawing thinning that people like. And you don't even lose the cards. They go at the bottom of your deck. It's a 2 for 2, so you don't really gain a plus. You just regulate your hand in a way. However, that counter 2,000 just gives him even more merit. The stats are somewhat usable too. You can put dons on him eventually and then he can attack. So I would say he's better compared to something like, you know, Kaya for blue, where people want a player to draw. Drake. So this guy is Navy, Drake, Pirates, and Animal Kingdom Pirates. Blocker. So on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and place them in any order. So this dude is kind of similar to Doflamingo, that's 4,000. Pretty much. It's the same effect, just stronger stats with 2 more cost and 2,000 more attack, so fair enough. And you got his dad over here. So you may place one of your characters other than this character at the bottom of your deck and draw a card. So I guess you can get rid of one of your useless dudes that maybe you did something with, you searched and whatever. Might be okay, but I don't really think so. You know, these sorts of cards, obviously you gotta combo them out. You gotta know what you're doing, because he is gonna be a weak guy. And you got Hounded Blaze. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains 3,000. Then place up to one of your character, up to one character with a cost at the bottom of his owner's deck. So spin a card once again, and then return up to one character with a cost of 3 or less to its owner's hand for the trigger. Okay, so this is just the typical blue. It's not so good. You just bounce stuff. I just knew this shit was gonna happen. I watered all the damn plants yesterday, and then now it's raining. Whatever. Okay, you got It's a Waste of Human Life. Yeah, that was kind of gay, that corny shit, but anyway. No, the corny part was when Shanks just comes around and then says that philosophical shit like, dude, okay. But anyway, place all characters with a cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Then you or your opponent trash cards from your hand until you have 5 cards in your hand. So this is one of those really strong power events. You're gonna get rid of cards from their hand. So if they're holding a big hand, you play this, they're gonna cry. But it's not that good because they're not gonna have a bunch of small dudes down all the characters. They're gonna have bigger dudes, so you're not gonna get rid of a lot of shit. Plus this affects you as well, and then you have to discard shit too if you got a big hand. So I don't like this card a lot. And then the trigger, you just get rid of small dudes, and it's gonna affect you as well once again. Okay, then we got, let us begin the world of violence. So if your leader is multicolored, draw a card and then return up to one character to the hand, cost 5 or less, whatever it is, draw 2 cards. So this is like the, I forgot the name of the Duel Masters card, but the plus draw 2, you know. for the water civilization. It's similar to that other card with Gin, but this is obviously, you gotta be multicolored anyway. They got Monkey D. Luffy as fully purple. Add one character. Wait, you may add one card from the top of your life to your hand, and if you have 0 or 3 or more Dawn cards on your field, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. No, I don't like this exchange. I never want to get rid of life for these sort of effects that they're not too much, but I get that they can't make them too broken, because obviously this is probably going to combo with other cards, that's why. But I'm not too fond. But he's 5 and 5, you know, just straight purple. That's interesting. And then we got Usohachi. So I guess, yeah, this is gonna be like the Straw Hat Crew when they're in Wano and shit. I can't tell from his clothes though, but no, actually, yeah, I can tell. Yeah. Anyway, so Usopp. If you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. 8 or more Dawn cards on your field. So this is all about when you're just gonna use all of them up to go for a game basically or some shit. Then you can rest somebody. Damn. He's a counter for 2000 though, so that's good. Okay. Then we got Onami. If you have 10 Dawn cards in your field, this character gains blocker. So I see what this sort of new archetype for Straw Hats is going for. That's it. 1, 1, and 1000. Orobi. I swear to God, like in the beginning, when I saw her like this, I didn't even recognize it was Robin in the anime. Like when you sort of see her in like the opening intro for the show. Yeah. So on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on the field, KO up to your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Okay, so I see how this is gonna be. She's 5000. Okay. Killer Kid Pirates. On play. He's a searcher dude, basically. Search something, whatever. Damn, the rain is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys can hear this. So, Sangoro, Straw Hat Crew, 6 and 8, that's it. How much shit do we got? I still got a lot of cards. So, Jinbei blocker. If you have 10 Dawn cards in the field, he gains 1000. So he's gonna be 7 for 5. And he's a blocker too though. Zorojuro. I gotta put some... Okay, so these are standard artworks. For Zoro though, it's like they tried some different shit. If you have 3 or less life cards, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Okay, this is the typical... Oh no, it's... I mean, it's the same card, more standard art. Chopaemon. It's almost like a Digimon. If you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, set up to one of your purple as active. Is it stopping? Anyway. So this makes your one of your dudes active. Law Heart Pirates. So when attacking, if your opponent has more Dawn cards in the field than you, look at the top of cards at the top of your deck. Search Heart Pirates. So this is almost like a counter to the Straw Hat deck, the purple one. If they've got more Dawns down than you can search. And he gets like this special manga artwork too. I think this is going to be expensive as fuck. Franoske, if you got any more Dawns, he gains Rush. If your opponent has more Dawns, when your opponent characters gains minus 2000. These you can actually just, it doesn't have to be against like Straw Hat deck. You can actually use this in any deck that's going to play some Dawns, and then when you don't, then you can gain these effects. So that's not bad. Honekichi, isn't it Bonekichi? Anyway. On play, you got 8 or more Dawns. Give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2000. And he's 4 for 6. No counter though. But he's pretty good. And then we got Miss Double Finger Zala. So I guess this is just like with Alabasta. They're going to give a few cards for the purple, you know, crocodile deck. But whatever. So she's a counter for 2000. That's the one good thing I can say about her. And then on play, you may trash a card. And then add a Dawn card from your Dawn and rest it. Yeah, not too thrilled for that. She's a trigger though as well. Return a Dawn. Then you the player. That type of shit. At least it's plus 2000. And then you got Eustace Captain Kidd blocker. When a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So yeah, you lose 1, you gain 1, basically. You get this manga artwork as well. I think it's going to be expensive as fuck. Das Bones. So you get rid of 1, and then on your opponent's attack, you return 1 Dawn and you get to summon something. Costs 3 or less. I mean, if this guy doesn't die, then this effect is good. Otherwise, he's weak by himself. When you're at sea, you fight against pirates. Where exactly was this from? Anyway, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Straw Hat, Kid Pirates, or Heart Pirates type. And then place it, and then, you know, search something basically. From you can work with all the purple shits. It's from the new starter deck with the 3 leaders. Gamma Knife. You may return the specified number of Dawn cards from your field. Give up to your opponent's card minus 5000. And add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck, set this active. Okay, these are good, but because there's so many purple cards that have this sort of trick where eventually, when you get it to 10, it's like, you gotta just keep putting them back for you to really reap the benefits. But anyway. And are we towards the end? Maybe not. No, these are new cards and not just full arts. We still got plenty of cards. So Punk Rotten. You may return the specified number of Dawn cards, 1 of your Kid Pirates or Leader to cards against 5000. And then add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn set as active trigger. I need to hurry up. We got Viola as well, one of my favorites, but all of the cards, like her other card they printed, wasn't very good for me. So she comes as black now for Dressrosa. Before I think she was maybe green. Oh yeah, I think she was violet. She was part of Flamingo's crew on OP4. But Your opponent places 3 cards from their trash to the bottom at the bottom of their deck in any order. Why would I want to give my opponent cards back? She must have some kind of application, but it's a shame, man. I wish they just gave us some better cards, just they're more conventional. So Elisabello, Kingdom of Providence and Dressrosa. You may return 20 cards from your trash into your deck and shuffle it. And this character gains 10,000 power as battle. So I see where they're going with this dude. And this card deals 2 damage. They didn't say he's attacks twice. I guess they're going to be doing these little things from now on, as opposed to just saying this dude attacks twice. It deals 2 damage. Just to make things more confusing for us, I guess. And then a 1-legged toy soldier. You may trash this character. Give up to one of your opponent's characters a -3 during this turn. It's got no attack. 2,000 counter though. And then Shirahoshi, looking cute. So 0 and 2,000 counter. You may rest this character, place up to 2 cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck in order. If your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. So a kind of a hand control card. Don't see too many of those in this game. That's something, but I mean, of course, if you guys know me, you know I'm not a fan of 0 attack characters that don't really do much besides an effect. You got this loser. It doesn't do anything. You got this other loser. If the only characters on your field are celestial dragons type character, give all of your opponent's characters a -cost. Whatever, I don't care. Cobra is Alabaster. And trash 1 card from the top of your deck on play. I know they're part of combos with the leaders and shit, but I don't really like these types of cards. At least he's a blocker, at least. For 2,000. And then you got Vivi. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, this character gains blocker 2. To be expected, being weak. And then Hakuba, Dressrosa and Beautiful Pirates. You may KO one of your characters other than this character. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -5 during this turn. Yeah. Not too thrilled about this. But I know it's part of a combo. Rest this character in 2 cards from your trash. Add up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. So this is like your recovery card from the discard pile. You grab something. 0 attack though, once again. Saint Mazga. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but I forgot how they said it in the anime. So this dude has a big cost for shit stats. You may rest this character and one of your characters add up to 1 black character card with a cost of 1 from your trash to your hand. So this is recovery once again. That's a pretty big cost though, just for this shit. And he needs some additional shit. Now I guess if he doesn't die, you can do this every turn, but they're definitely gonna kill him. Because you gotta rest him. Riku Doldo 3, man, they made this guy too tough now, okay? So blocker, and then on play, on KO, up to 1 of your Dressrosa type characters gains 2,000 during this turn. That's pretty strong. You're gonna gain this twice basically, because you gain this on play and on KO. Now, I guess you can't boost himself because, well, I mean, if you gain Rush, I guess it's gonna matter, but you do this on a different character. It's pretty good, though. Good stats for the Rebecca deck. Speaking of Rebecca, fine bit spotted. Another blocker. A lot of blockers now. On play, up to one of your black characters with a cost of 3, up to 7, other than Rebecca. Add up to 1 character from your trash to your hand. So once again, you get that +1, and then play up to 1 black character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand rested. Damn. She's 0 for 4 though, but you get like this double summon. You get the plus and then a summon. And she's a blocker, so she's actually a good card. It seems like a weird card, does a bunch of shit, but it's good because basically you play her down, you're gonna get something back, so you don't really minus getting the 0 body down, plus she's a blocker. And then you get to summon something. So it's like you paid the cost and you got something down too. It wasn't like you did this just to grab something. So I think she's pretty good. And she gets a very beautiful card as well. Damn, I love them making these chicks hot and cute. That's about the only, well, not the only thing, but the one thing they do right for the One Piece TCG, you know, the full arts. You got this fucker as well. If the only just lesser dragons, okay, -6, whatever. Rob Lucci, CP0. On play, you may place 3 cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, then one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. So you get the double kill, but only in weak dudes, whatever. 4/6, no counter. Oh, look at him, he's smiling here, it's just so rare to see. How to court your patchwork tontatas. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 during this turn, then up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0 will not become active in the refresh phase. Yeah, if they got a dude like that down, I want to kill them, not necessarily make them not become unsuspended. I mean, it's only cost 1, and the trigger is you draw 2 and then trash 1. So at least it's not big cost. Anyway, I'm going to take another sip of water. Oh god, we got an L too, from what I see here. Dragon Claw up to one of your leaders gains plus 4,000, not minus. Then if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 less. Okay, just a 2 cost though. Okay, it's for the Rebecca deck once again. You got this fucker. Choose one, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. Return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less to their hand. Place to the top or bottom of their life, face up. And then if you have a Celestial Dragon, draw 1 card. Yeah, it gives you some utility, but I don't give a fuck about the Celestial Dragon, so. The trigger though is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. Wow. Or return it to the owner's hand. So everybody's gonna pop it, but I guess if you can't pop it, you're gonna put it into the hand. If it's like one of those black cards that don't get popped. Okay, a strong effect on a fucking loser dude card. Anyway. Marie Joie. So the cost of playing Celestial Dragon characters on cost 2 or less will be reduced by 1. So you get this stage down, all the dudes will be reduced by 1. So it doesn't say it can't be less than 1, so I guess they can become 0, and then you play them for free. I would think that's how it will work. And then we got NL for yellow, and I think he's just... Is he yellow and black or just yellow? I can't really tell. He has 4 life though. And when your number of life cards becomes 0, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, then trash 1 card from your hand. So this is during your opponent's turn too, which is extremely good. You gotta discard a card from your hand though. It's only once per turn. I think they didn't need to make him discard a card because you start at 4 life, so I don't know. Basically you gain a little bit of defense if your opponent is going for game. You gain a little bit of defense. But I think, is this black and... Let me just check this dude. No, it's just yellow. It's just only 1 color for life. I guess they're really careful because they think this effect is broken. But I mean, it clearly says once per turn, so it wasn't going to be that bad. Yeah, I think they should have made him 5 and 5, but because this is the only effect he gets. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to play against this and then I'm going to rage because it's going to be broken. But I think it's pretty fair. You gain that life, but you're at 4. You don't have 5 like the typical monocolors have. And you got to discard a card from your hand too. So, yeah. You get Amazon. Rests character in your opponent's attack. Your opponent may trash 1 card from top of their life cards if they do not give up to one of your opponent's leader characters minus 2,000. Pretty weak though. And you get Rush NL 7 and 7. If this character will leave the field, you may trash 1 card from the top of your life card instead. If there is a Monkey D. Luffy character, this effect is negated. That's so specific, but I like this sort of effects. Creative. Yeah, if this card would leave the field, trash a card once per turn. And then if there's a Luffy on the field, then you can't do this shit. Okay. So it's kind of like a floater, plus he has a rush too. Pretty good. I think this might be expensive. You get Om. If I have 2 life cards or less, this character gains 1,000. And then on play, reveal up to 1 holy. So that's the dog. So he only searches the dog. Getatsu. KO a character with a cost equal or less than the number of your opponent's life cards. They can't be serious. So you can kill something with 6 life. If you're like if your opponent is being like careful and he's defensive, he's discarding counters, he's making sure his life is healthy. You play this dude down, you get to kill something big for no reason. It's kind of busted if you ask me. He's 5'6", he's not that difficult to get out. They made him stronger than Om for some reason. Gets a special full art too. Okay, you got Kotori. If you have Hotoriki up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the number of your opponent's life cards. Similar shit. So it's like you gotta allow yourself to be getting your ass kicked to dodge the full power of these effects. Ah, Conan, she was a pretty fine bitch too. Actually did some cool stuff. So she's 0 unfortunately, but she is a counter 2000 at least. You may place one of your stages at the bottom of your deck. Draw a card and then trash one card from your hand. Come on, man. If I'm gonna get rid of the stage that I paid the cost just to draw a card and then trash something, yeah, no thanks. The only good thing about it is the 2000. I don't know, I guess we'll have to see what combos you do with the other shit. So you may trash one card from your hand and play this card. He's 5 and 5, but he's a counter for 2000. Satori. So I guess he's strong in that sense. Right. Then you got Shura. They made this guy a weakling. So this dude is the searcher dude. Look at the top 5 cards, reveal up to 1 Sky Island type card other than Shura and add it to your hand. He's a trigger too though. God damn. So trigger and the fucking searcher. So you're always gonna get your search with this dude. Fuck me. There's nothing bad about him. I mean, two and a counter and a searcher and a trigger. And then they want to ban Nami. Lieutenant Spacey. What the fuck is that? The moon. It's gotta be shit we don't know about. This is the first I've learned about this. It's gotta be some manga shit, exclusive shit. You know, where they got the special chapters where I guess Enel went to the moon and then found this dude. So when a card is added from your hand from your life, this character gains 2000 during this turn. 3, 4. Oops. Clicked wrong shit. You got Nola, 5, 7000. Okay. Animal, Sky Island. It's the big snake. The deity god snake. Pagaya or Pagaya. When a trigger card activates, draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. You don't really gain a plus, but I guess you dig. Holy, so this is the big dog. 5, 3. And then we're nearing the end, because I'm dying here. Hotori. Play 1 Kotori. And then one of your opponent's characters will cost a 3 or less at the top or bottom. So this, I think you spin, the other one popped. Whatever. Maybe they did the same thing. Captain McKinley, blocker. On KO, play up to 1 Skyland type of character card with a cost of 1 from your hand. So he's kind of a floater. 3/3 is good enough, I guess, because it's a blocker. And the fat motherfucker that pissed off Robin. 2/2 blocker. Okay. And then L, Thor. Up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 2000 during this turn. Then if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, that card gains an additional 2000 during this turn. So you get to boost your shit more if your opponent is getting their ass kicked. And then the trigger kept one of your characters with a cost equal or less than the number of your opponent's life cards. So I guess they have it so that, you know, depending, I mean, it's a trigger effect, but you can gain a benefit if your opponent has a lot of life, and you can gain a benefit if your opponent has not a lot of life left. Anyway, 200 million bolts, motherfucker. So up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains 3000. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So to combo with an L. And then Hino Bird Zap. One of his moves again. KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to life shit. then activate the main effect. So these are cards that are only going to be good early. Up a yard. So stage, look at the 5 cards from your deck, search something, Sky Island, yeah. Pretty cheap cost. But you don't do this every turn. You're only going to get this once. So I guess that's why you use it with Conus. You don't care. But anyway. And we're done. Thank God. I know that I was rushing towards the last half an hour maybe. But I'm dying here. There was the rain too distracting me. And you get some more actually reprints here. You get Kaido. These gotta be reprints, right? Or are they original cards? No, these are original cards. They're the secret rares. My bad. So Kaido, on play, draw 4 cards if your opponent has 3 or less life cards. And then he's at 10, 12,000. So broken. Yeah. And then you got Luffy. On play, Dawn -10. Place all of your characters except this character at the bottom of your deck in any order, then take an extra turn after this one. Holy shit. And then activate main once per turn, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So what this basically just gives you is, it's almost like this guy gets rushed and then you lose all of your shit. If you're gonna get rid of all of your Dawn, you can't summon much next turn anyway. Okay? And you get rid of all of your characters too at the bottom of your deck. You get rid of all of your field presence. So yeah, I get that they want to give this a lot of drawbacks because you gain a turn. Okay, so here's how you use it correctly. You use all of your big dudes, you attack, then you summon this guy, you lose all of your field presence on all of your Dawns, and then it gets to your turn again. You gain a Dawn, but you pay a Dawn or rest a Dawn. What the fuck? Just some confusing shit here. I don't know. They don't explain things on the card. When there's a lot of text, they just leave the main glossary out. So, whatever the fuck. But, okay, yeah, this guy basically gains, because it's going to be your turn and this guy skipped over to your turn and this guy attacks, so you gain a big attack with this guy for free, basically. It's almost like he gains rush. Maybe they should have just given that instead of all this complicated shit. Plus you get rid of your field presence. So this is a game finisher, but you gotta be careful how you use him because he either can bite you in the ass. That's what I see, at least, from this effect. So these are the expensive as fuck. Okay, this dude, yeah. I'll be honest, I wasn't too fond of this shit, you know, the Gear 5 shit in the anime. But anyway. And then this is a reprint, I believe. Rush Dawn 2, yeah, it's from the Rush Luffy. Alright. And we're finally done with this set. So basically you get the Enel archetype, the Revolutionary Army archetype. You get a lot of broken support for Doflamingo. And I guess you get some Navy stuff as blue. You get the purple Luffy deck as well, but I said this before, I'm not too fond of every set. You just gain a bunch of archetypes and that's it. That's how it is for the TCG, but I guess that's all that they can do. It's easy for them this way. And then the new shit becomes better. Rebecca gained a lot of support. I really like this card. She's good. Plus, she's a cutie as well. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. Enel, I think they just tried too much to make him balanced, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. It clearly looks like it's just yellow. It's not yellow and black. So the 4 life seems a bit too weak for him. And then that's it. I mean, Luffy, I mean, the way I see it, he doesn't look that good to me. It's just too many drawbacks to gain this rush effect, and that's it. I mean, you're gonna get rid of all of your field presence. I suppose that if you didn't have anybody down anyway, then you don't lose much, but you still gotta just pay all these dons. I don't know. I mean, I guess it comes to your draw phase again. You draw a card. You do gain, obviously, advantages if your opponent skips a turn, but the drawbacks are pretty big as well. This is just more simple and busted too. So that's it. So this is the damn OP5, Awakening of the New Fucking Era. I mean, I would like to say that I was going to buy a booster box from this set, but I don't know how expensive as fuck it's going to be. I mean, all of the other ones are expensive as fuck. So maybe this is going to be expensive as fuck too. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this set review. I apologize for the rain hurt the quality. I can't really do much. I record this as if it's live, so I don't really have a way to remove the rain, if you guys could hear it. And yeah, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Warai!